Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Callaway, and we're going to do a review of issue 3 of Dead Body Road, the mini-series by Justin Jordan and Matteo Scalera. Issue 3 was really good. It continues on from issue 1 and 2, and let's get into it. So at the end of issue 2, we saw it ended on that cliffhanger where we seen the guy waiting in the hotel room to greet the cop and Rachel. It turns out, plot twist, this guy that was waiting in the hotel room is the cop's former police partner. So they were both partners back in the day. And the reason why this guy's not a cop anymore is because the cop here whose wife died, he turned him in for taking drug money and shaking down, low-level thugs and dealers and stuff like that, cash business. So he says there's a lot of cash laying around, and sometimes there's not. Meaning they take the cash money out of evidence lockers and out of raids and all that stuff. But what it did tell you was the cop who this whole story's about, who lost his wife, he was also dirty as well. So he got booted from the force as well. But what happened was, it says here, and so he turned in his former partner. He's like, we had a pretty good thing going on, busting dealers, suppliers, whatever low-level assholes we found. Now, the drug business is, by and large, a cash business, so there tended to be a lot of cash laying around. And she's like, not all of which was needed to be lying around an evidence locker, was it? And he's like, clever girl. And she's like, and he turned you in. And he says, he did. Now, see, what you don't know about your white knight here is that he was taking the money too. But he had an attack of conscience or stupidity or both. So when I went down, he went down, which is the problem, Gage. He will do whatever he thinks he should. What he won't do is think about what he should do after. So it's like he had a conscience change of heart, and he turned his partner in and didn't think about what would happen next. He turned his partner in and faced the fact that he would go down with him. So they both got booted from the force, and we see his partner's gone to the life of crime, and we don't really know what this cop, Gage, did next. So they get into a bit of a scruffle, and they try and figure out how they can kill him, but they don't kill him, and then they try to, and they get into a fight, and then that's where it ends. It ends there. And then we skip to another page where we got Quint here. He was from the issue 1. He killed the hacker. So they're in a bar, and he goes in, we're closed. And he's like, yeah, motherfucker, is that so? And he's like, now you look open to me. So he goes in there and wants to start a fight. So we get a big bar fight, typical bar fight, pool tables thrown out the window, people thrown out the window, pool cues thrown at each other, balls thrown at each other. And this guy here, this is Lake, this is the leader of the crew that robbed the bank. He comes in and throws in a big bag of cash on the floor. So he wants to make a deal with the owner of the bar. So I'm guessing the owner, the bar's maybe like a bikie bar or something, just a known hangout for thugs and criminals and shady characters. And he's like, so what's stopping me from killing you now and just taking the cash? And he's like, I'm hoping simple human greed, because that shitload is just a drop in the bucket. And he's like, I'm listening. So then we cut back to a scene. There's Quint, the guy that killed the hacker. He's at a diner or at like a food court in a mall, and the cop who lost his wife, he's found him, and he's there and they're talking, and he's like, a good place to find me. And he's like, you do realise though, without that, hang on, it's wrong. I figured what I can't figure is what you're doing here. You obviously got the girl, so why come to me? I mean, I get this, have the bitch call for a meet, set it up in a nice public place, lots of exits. And he's like, lots of witnesses, but that works both ways. He's like, well, I was thinking I might just kill you. So they get in a big fight in the mall in the food court, and they fight it out, and they back and forth, and then it ends here, and he's like, I'm going to make sure you're almost dead, and then when you wake up, we're going to have a long talk about all this. So they get into the big scrap, and then somehow he gets away, and he starts running, and he runs out the door and runs out the back alley, and it was a trap. All it was just a setup. So, and then now the cop and his ex-partner, they're working together. So they've gone from fighting it out when they first met in the hotel room, thinking of how they could kill each other, to now working with each other to take down the guys from the crew. So we're gonna have to wait and see the next book to see what happened in the meantime. What happened? They didn't show. So he punches the torturer, the ex-cop punches Quint, one of the bank robbers, and then they hit each other with a bat. Then they're like, motherfucker, you're going to need more than that to take my ass down. And he's like, yep. So then Rachel in the bus, in a minivan, runs him over in the van. And then that's the end of the book. So this one was it was good. It wasn't good as the first two. It was kind of felt like a bit of a filler book, or just to plot out a couple of different plots to characters and stuff. So recap. So the first part is them going into the hotel room, meeting this guy, and we find out that he's the former partner of Cage, who's the cop, and then they get a bit of a fight, and then they end up becoming friends, but we don't see that. We'll obviously see that in the next book. And then we get the leader of the crew goes to this bar, must be full of, thugs and shady people, to make a deal. And then the two cops now then working together, and they take out one of the crew, the guy who killed the hacker, and that's where it ends. So the woman runs him over with the bus. So this book not as good. It sort of was. This book was basically just 3 different scenes. So there was only 3 whole scenes in this whole book, and it was just patchy. Like it went from one scene to them in the hotel, to then all of a sudden just cutting straight to a bar, and you sort of was like, what the hell, what's going on? Like, and then you don't know anything about these people in the bar, who owns it, who they are. It just says they start a bar fight, throw a bag of cash there to try and make a deal, and that's all you know. That's all you get. That's all you really understand. And then we cut straight back to another scene. And it's like, how did this guy get here at the diner, at the food court? So you could understand the story, but it definitely wasn't as good as the first two. It didn't flow as good. It was a bit more. It was jump to jump. Like there was no. It was. And it was, we went from the start of the book, the cop and his former partner hating each other, wanting to kill each other, and working out who can shoot quickest and who's going to be able to shoot each other first, to then we go through the bar fight scene, and then we get to the end, and the 2 cops have set a trap to get this guy out and take him out. So you can get the gist of what's happened, but it doesn't really explain what happened or how it happened. So we're going to have to wait for the next issue to see what happened between them meeting in the hotel, and then at the end of the book they're working together. So it was a bit of there's a lot of blanks in it, a few little plot holes and things like that. But other than that, the art is growing on me. It is not bad art. It's not my thing, not really my thing, but it is pretty good. It is good art. But yeah, the story's good. The overall story's good, but this issue definitely not as good as 1 and 2. Issue 1 and 2 really good. Issue 3 was just a bit more rushed and a bit more plot holey, and just didn't really flow. But you could get the gist of the story. So that's what I've got to say on it. There's not much to it. We'll wait and see what issue number 4 brings. So That's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the support. Like, subscribe, share the videos. Helps brings views to the channel, and we'll see you at the next one. See ya.